everybody, good afternoon. This is Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop. Well, today we told you as part of our Sunday evening blog, CNC project cost estimation, that we were going to give a three-part video series. And throughout the series, the video was already released on the fabrication end. We've already released the video, or we will be releasing the video on the assembly. And this is the last part. This is basically the design and the programming and through VCarve Pro software that I am now going to walk you through real quick, or as quick as I can, so as you can see how I designed and laid this out. Hopefully this will help one of you guys or one of you ladies down the road later on, okay? Well, without further ado, we're going to open up the file associated with. Now, we're going to look at the job dimensions real quick. The job dimension here is 20 inches wide by 48 inches tall. We did this on 1.5 inch KD Douglas fir. My datum, I always start from the center, and our unit of measure is in inches. Let me get my pointer here. Alright, now we'll bring up the tool path on the side. What we did first, after we ran our spoiler board tool path, because I told you I do not have a planer big enough to plane anything wider than 13-inch stock on my DeWalt DW735 planer. That's the largest I can do is 13 inches. So I end up using my spoiler board bit on top of my machine as basically a makeshift planer. Well, we're going to say that you've done that step. It's a simple program to cut. Go a ½ inch wider than your length and your width than what is set up in your job parameters. 20.5 by 48.5. Plane this thing down, flip it over. Now, put the nicer of the two sides that you're going to want for your top. I would say mill that first with your spoiler board bit and then flip it. Now, once you're ready, your very first thing that you're going to do is your pocketing tool path for the slots on the underside of the table where the legs are going to fit into. I ran these, and I mentioned in the software, I had mentioned in the video throughout the fabrication end that I was going to mill these a ½ inch, and in fact I didn't. I only went 375 thousandths, or 3/8. We ran the bit at 80 inches per minute at a cut depth of 1/8 of an inch per pass. It went rather quickly. My router, I think, is in need of repair, so I'm kind of babying it a little. And I ran it at a feed rate of 80 IPM. After these pocketing tool paths were done, I ended up flipping, and you saw how in the machine I flipped it over, and what I did was I put in a pocket tool path for these 6 holes. Now, we'll zoom in and we'll see that by using symmetrical and perfectly square, using a fence and a stop block on the physical CNC Stinger table itself, that when you flip it over, you haven't changed it dimensionally in any way. So these holes, in fact, line up in the center of this pocket that's underneath. But you do need to do the flip after you do the pockets in order to make the holes come out right on the surface. Okay? Same thing here. We did a tool path of 375 thousandths using a 1/4 inch end mill at a 1/8 inch depth per pass at 80 IPM, spinning it at 12,000 RPM. Alright, now the last thing that we did is the cutout. I have plenty of tabs in. I told you that I screwed the spoiler board. The other thing that I told you is if you have screws long enough and you want to go down through the center of these pocketed holes on the surface, it doesn't matter. It's not going to mar anything because you're going to be putting your mounting screws in anyways to screw to the legs on the underside. This helps to give this some rigidity. I did have 4 small screws in the corner. I got the piece of composite on the side here, and I have a stop block across the top, so that when I flip this, everything is technically still straight and square and centered on the machine. Alright. I don't know exactly how many passes. We'll close this out. We'll light up all the tool paths, and we'll look at the time. It's saying 39 minutes to run everything. Maybe, maybe not. But nonetheless, I will stand by this statement that you can probably, as just a woodworker, you can fabricate this actual table quicker than you certainly can on the machine, in my opinion. Alright? Well, we're going to close this out. And we're going to jump over real quick to the legs. Same thing here again. Let me close this. We're 18 by 20. Now, I told you in the video I did this on a 20 by 20 piece of material. That's only because I was trying to look for a certain effect in the Douglas fir. I was looking to have the red on the outside of the legs, and I changed my mind. I made a revision to it. I also only have one hole that I put in on the video because my dowel was in fact 1 1/4 inches in diameter, whereas the holes on this program call out for a 1-inch dowel. I think 2 plugs on the end will look very, very sharp on this piece, especially if you go with a dark wood and say you use a KD pine. You got the light with the dark plugs. I think that will look pretty sharp. Same thing again, 1.5-inch material with your datum in the center. Units of measurement are inches here. Alrighty. Now we're going to bring up the tool path. Same thing again. Insert your piece of material against your fence and your stop block, face side up. If you don't have a device big enough to plane this, you're going to need to use your spoiler board bit affixed to the spoiler board on your CNC router table. Now, you're going to do a flip. The flip that you do, and the first tool path it will call out for is this pocket. Now, same parameters again, pass depth of 1/8 of an inch. I slowed this down a little bit, and I have an RPM of 12,000. The other thing, after you've done this, you're going to flip the material over. You're going to do your pocketed holes, boom and boom. Same thing, they're going to go to a depth of an 375 thousandths. It's going to take roughly 3 passes, running it at 80 IPM with an RPM on my router of 12,000. And then lastly, we're going to do the cutout. Now, we've got plenty of tabs on this. I didn't have any problem. Again, don't be scared to take and put a couple screws in these holes. I ended up using 4 small screws, 1 per corner. I would say if you opt, put your screw up in here, because you're going to get a little close with your end mill down here. You don't want to kiss a metal screw with your bit, or you're going to end up probably kissing your bit goodbye. But that is basically it. That is your legs. You're going to run 2 of them, obviously. And then your stick in the center is just a 2x4, whatever you choose. In my case, I used either hemlock or Douglas fir. I looked for really nice effects in the grain. No more, no less. Alright, we're going to close this out. Now, we also have the measurements. I did you guys, and you ladies up as well, you ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. We did a markup here of the overall centers, your measurements. You can come in and with this, you could lay this out, less the pocket for your leg, because I don't deem that necessary. If you're a woodworker and you want to pocket it out, by all means, but to me it would be a lot of effort to go out and do setting up the jigs and using a handheld router. So your measurements are here. Alrighty. And last but not least, well, we're not quite done yet. Your leg measurements are here. Everything is marked up. Where the pocket is, where your centers are. I'm sorry, the one thing I did leave out was the center for your hole here. If you wanted to, like I said, you can use a spade bit on this. And if you're going to do this even in woodworking, I'd say you could probably get away with just one good screw in the center. Alright. Your radius is here. I basically used I used an 8-inch. We're 12 at the top. We're 16 across the bottom. Our leg supports are 4 inches. 18 is our overall height. And I try to give you as much markups as possible. So I apologize if I missed anything, guys. Please just let me know. Email me. I'll revise the print again. I will find the time if you find something I forgot. Just please let me know. Now the last thing we're going to do real quick is we're going to bring up, lo and behold, let me drag this in. I did a PDF for all of you. Because some of you guys don't have the CAD software to read this stuff, I wanted you to be able to have a print that you could print off on a regular desktop printer. So we did one for the tabletop, the bench top, as well as the legs themselves. And we'll have that up here in just a second. Oh, here it is. Okay, so, and this is basically the print that you can print off on your home printer in your own home office or whatever. Everything is dimensionally here. Again, less the hole. If I need to, I will go back and revise it. But I tried to cover all my bases. Again, I'm sorry I didn't have the time to mark up the legs and do a video on that, but I'm really chewing at the bit. So I hope this helped everybody. Thank you guys so much again for your support. And as always, stay tuned. There's more to come. All right. Everybody have a great day. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.